Hi, everyone. Welcome to another amazing topic of conversation. I want to thank my sponsors, the Health Channel. So please sign up for their newsletter with anything regarding your health. And if you need a office space, even if it's just for an hour or a boardroom or a year, Alexa's workspace can help you. And for those women that want to become their own boss and open their own business, please join hermosamujer.net and they can help you with an innovative ecosystem that will help you online. So, Sue, welcome.
Thank you, Gladys. I'm happy to be here. Thank you.
It is really a pleasure seeing you, and I know that we have a tough conversation ahead of us.
We do. Yes, we do.
I never thought that, actually, I really never thought that we would be having this conversation because I feel that we're going backwards, that we're going back
Indeed.
to the time when our mothers, my mother, my grandmother, and they needed an abortion, they had to use the hangers, which was a symbol of all the deaths of women. And this is what's shocking to me, that actually we are having this conversation because it's one amendment that's coming up, Amendment 4. And it has been very controversial on the way also that they wrote it. So
Well,
please tell me what we need to do. Tell me, explain to me a little bit of the amendment, and the floor is all yours.
okay. Well, Gladys, as you know, in the state of Florida now, as of May, our governor apparently approved the amendment on the legislation on abortion that you cannot have an abortion past 6 weeks. And most women don't even know that they're pregnant at 6 weeks. So it
Correct.
makes it very, very difficult. And this is really not, in my opinion, this is not just a moral issue. I understand it from a perspective of being a moral issue, and there are people that don't believe in having abortions, which is perfectly understandable. But this is really about the freedom of choice and the freedom that women have to make their own decision along with their provider, their doctor, of being able to make a rational decision based on information that they have and based on their own health issues, which have come up. It isn't just about abortion. It isn't about taking a child. It is about health issues as well. And it's also about freedom. And I feel that we are losing. I mean, I couldn't actually believe that they overturned Roe versus Wade and that this is happening now all over the country. I mean, this is just, it's really about women's health and women's freedom.
So, a lot of people are saying that it is about, yes, that they're pro life. Personally, it's not about pro life, it's about pro choice.
Correct.
That we have the right to choose between, like you said, between us and the doctor. Nobody has to get involved in our bodies. But my concern in this case is that they didn't separate the moral issue from the health issue. And that is the part that's really confusing, because when you mention abortion, everybody thinks, oh, I'm against abortion, or I'm against killing, or whatever. But it is not about that. It is also about women that have had miscarriages, that we know that they need to go to a hospital because they need to be treated when there's a miscarriage, and doctors are afraid to even attend them, and they are left to bleed in the parking lot.
Correct. And there have been women that have had to carry a an unborn child, knowing that the child was unborn to fruition, and have to give birth to that. And there are so many, I mean, I've heard so many other health stories related to this. So it's really just not about abortion. It's really, there are so many people that are being affected by it in terms of medically, and the doctors are put in a position where they're unable to help them.
Correct. And this is about health.
Correct.
So I have two questions for you. What about what happens when there's rape and incest?
What happens when what?
Is it what happens when there's rape and incest? There isn't any provisions for rape
No,
or
there is
incest?
no exception for that either, which is unbelievable. I mean, can you imagine a 12-year-old child being raped and then has to carry that child and has to give birth to that child? It's mind-boggling to me.
And who's going to take care of
Incest.
those kids?
And who is going to take care of all
Who's
these
going to
children
take
that
care
have
of
to be
those
born?
kids? If the foster system is completely overbooked, if you can say that, and they have been fallen off the cracks with a lot of people, even some kids dying in the foster system in Florida. So, who will take care of all these children? Who's going
That
to
is a
pay
good
for
question.
the birth of the kids? Like,
And
those
that's
are
going
the
to fall back on the government again as well. That's going to be as they're trying to cut the expenses. I mean, that's going to put more into the budget in terms of taking care of these unborn child or these children that are being born.
but I don't understand why it's only women, because I feel that women have been back and like demoted with this. This is personally how I feel. Because, for example, if a man has to go to do a vasectomy, or it has some kind of issue with testicles, they don't need to go to the government and ask for permission, or the government has never even touched on any law that has to do with reproductive
That is true.
organs
And
for
there
men.
are men that will just go and have a vasectomy because they don't want to have any more children. What about that?
Yes, that has not come up anywhere.
Correct. So why is it just about women? But I think that the main issue here is about Amendment 4, which is coming up on our November election. And the main thing is that we need to have 60% of the vote to pass this Amendment 4, which
Why,
would stop this and which would give the freedom back to women to make their own health choices with their own doctors.
why 60%?
That's what the law is. That's the way the legislation is, that they need 60%. So there are a number of organizations that are involved in trying to raise the money to do the advertising, to get the word out, to make sure that people understand what the Amendment 4 is and how they should be voting on it. So, and there's, of course, there is quite some resistance from the government at this point, but it's very, very important that people go out and vote. And vote any way. I mean, this is
Yeah,
America. Vote any way that you feel right, but vote.
correct.
Go out there and vote. And hopefully you would vote yes on Amendment 4, which
So
would give us back the rights.
another thing that I want to clarify here is that some of the people that have been pro-choice are saying that that they want abortion canceled because you're allowed to have an abortion at 9 months or kill the baby as soon as it's born, which I find that so ridiculous. But they're believing it.
I have never heard a story like that. I don't think any of us have really heard stories like that. I don't, I mean, that has nothing to do with it. Obviously, if you're going to have an abortion, it would be within a certain period of time. And of course, after a certain period of time, assuming health is in order, then you would carry the child to full birth. But I've never heard abortion related to 9 months or
Yes,
after
so
birth.
this is
After
something
birth.
that I really wanted to clarify. And the other part is that when we're talking about the 60%, the government of Florida just released a lot of advertising against this, which is not correct in my opinion. And I just want to clarify that this is just my opinion. But what really bothers me is that they're using our taxpayers. So I do our taxpayers' money. So I really do not agree that my taxpayers is being used to promote something that I don't believe in.
That you don't believe in. And I'm involved with another organization that is pro-choice and that is trying to get everybody out to vote. It is totally nonpartisan. It is not political. And unfortunately, in order to get the word out and to advertise against the legislation that's been advertised negatively, it's very, very costly to the tune of in the area of 75 to $100 million to get the advertising digitally and on TV.
What
So
is the name
we
of
are
the
raising funds.
organization and where can they found for those people that really want to support this?
FloridiansProtectingFreedom.com. And it is totally nonpartisan. So there are a number of organizations that are banding together that are trying to work together to help out, but this one happens to be totally non-political. So
And this is the other thing that I really wanted to talk to you about because it doesn't matter which side of the equation you are or which political party you're signed up, you can vote yes on Amendment 4 so that we can get our rights back to us. Like
correct.
we had never questioned that. And I am going to share my story so that you know why I'm so passionate about this. Many years ago, I did not know I was pregnant. I just had a really bad pain that I had to go to the ER. I did not live here, but I was here on vacation. And I found out that I had an IUD that was stuck to my uterus. And they
Wow.
had to take it out, or my uterus would be torn. So at that point, the doctor said to me, look, we need to take it out immediately, and we don't know if you're going to lose a baby or not, but this has to be done immediately before it literally damages your uterus and you can bleed out. And at that point, no one was there with me except me, the doctor, and it wasn't even a choice. It was a medical thing that I had to do right then and there.
Correct.
I
And you
had,
didn't even know you were pregnant at that point.
I had no idea. I had no idea. And the problem was, and the only thing that I've been thinking about many, many years after is that if I was going through the same issue now,
Yeah.
I needed to go out of the state or out of the country to have the procedure, but I couldn't walk. So
Mm,
it was extremely difficult. So you're stuck, and this was about health. This was not about whether it was a pro-choice or pro-life. It had nothing to do with that. It was about health, and
medical issue. It was a medical issue.
I needed a medical attention immediately. And so this is why this is so important to me, because I don't want anybody else, that nobody goes through with this, that they need to leave the state or the country to have that procedure done.
And I've heard so many stories like that, Gladys, and so many health issues related to pregnancies. And it's not just about abortion. It's not just about, losing a life. It's really about women's health and being able to make a choice. And that's why
Correct.
I'm so passionate about it.
Race, because whether they have some of the states have some provisions for rape, by the time they find out they're pregnant, by the time they go to court, their time to have a safe abortion is gone, is past gone. And who's gonna pay for the lawyers if that poor woman or girl was raped?
Correct.
So
And they
is
may not be in a position to travel or to go someplace else for care.
and what about if it's incest?
Yes,
Is the girl going to have a baby? What, her brother, her sister, by the same brother in the house? Who's gonna take care of it? So there's so many complications with this that I feel we're going back to the time of the Stone Age.
yes. Yeah, I agree totally. I totally, totally agree. We have definitely gone backwards a step, and I think that Ruth Ginsburg would be rolling over in her grave at this point.
Yeah, I think it was. But if we go back, when they interviewed all the Supreme Justices, they all said they wouldn't turn it. They all agree that they wouldn't turn it back. So I don't understand. Like, we trust it. So now it's time for us to bring back our vote. And so
Absolutely.
it doesn't matter if you're in one party or another, just vote and vote with conscience, because the wording in the amendment, it is very open. So there's no provisions for anything. And we need to get back our bodies. Like, our bodies is us. Nobody, the guys in the Supreme Court have no clue what my body is.
Correct. And you
Should
are really
be
in a
involved.
position to make your own choice. So I
Yeah.
would say vote yes on Amendment 4. Go out and vote and vote yes.
And you still have time to register. It doesn't matter what else you vote for, just vote yes.
Correct.
So,
Yes.
Sue, thank you so much.
Thank
And
you, Gladys.
I hope that
I'm
we
shocked to
get,
hear your story. I never heard your story before, so
and it's been coming back a lot lately
I'm
because
sure.
I would have thought, like, what do I do? I was here on vacation, so I couldn't go back home because I couldn't walk. And I
Hmm.
remember I had to call my cousin to take care, to stay with my kids,
Yeah.
because I woke up and I had this horrible pain, which I had no clue what it was. And I still remember the doctors, because at that time they didn't do a sonogram in the doctor's office. They had to give you
The
an order
hospital.
to go. And I remember that the order said lost IUD. And the guys were like, really? I go, yes, really. And they said, okay, now we know the source of the pain.
Oh, yeah.
So, yes. So hopefully we will get this done and get our freedom rights back to us. And with
Yes.
that, thank you so much. Until next week, please stay safe, and above all, let there peace in the world.
Absolutely. I agree with that 100%. And thank you so much, Gladys. Really
Thank
appreciate your
you.
story and appreciate you. Thank you.